Well, okay. So we talked, a decent amount about mindset. And, I'm just curious, like with people that you work with, are there, and maybe we've already touched on this a little bit, but are there common situations or struggles that you see people running into in terms of, I want to make this amount of progress. What's preventing me from getting there?
Yeah. I mean, part of being a coach is always resetting expectations. We want to be, we want to set our clients up for success. And from somebody who comes from a very, very, very like diet focused lifestyle, they have been taught by these fitness magazines, by blog articles that are clickbaity. Like I was telling somebody this in a podcast the other day. Clickbait has been around for a very, very, very long time. Like people will say anything to get you to open that YouTube video,
Yeah.
open that article, or before that, it was open up that magazine, right? Like,
Yeah.
what did the front of that magazine say? It said, lose 20 pounds in 20 days, right? So, subconsciously, these people who are like buying these magazines, or maybe they're not even buying these magazines, but maybe they're watching like Dr. Oz and they're watching Oprah and they're watching all these daytime TV shows, and they're consuming this toxic diet culture without even realizing they're consuming it, right? So maybe they know in the back of their heads that like the scale is not the most important thing when it comes to weight loss, or fat loss, I should say, not weight loss. Those are two different things.
Hmm.
So that's one of the first conversations I have is like fat loss versus weight loss. I said, you joined a fat loss coaching program, not a weight loss coaching program. I have a couple clients that are in muscle building phases, but most of the people I work with are trying to cut down body fat. So, and they're trying to improve their relationship with food. So for me to do that, I have to change that mentality to shift it from weight loss to fat loss, because those are two different things. And when you're strength training and you're new to strength training, or you're coming back to it and you're still kind of a beginner, and you're looking to increase your weight, or you're looking to increase your reps, or you're introducing progressive overload in some fashion, you're going to be building some muscle. As long as we're fueling your body correctly, you're lifting with good form, and you have good training and you have a good program and you're actually following it consistently, you're going to be building some muscle. And people will say muscle weighs more than fat. Muscle is more dense than fat.
Yeah.
So when you step on the scale, you're going to see very minimal changes in the scale, aside from that first, maybe 5 pounds of water weight loss when somebody joins a new program. So they might lose 5 pounds in a week and they get all pumped up. Yeah, this guy's a really good coach. I lost 5 pounds in my first week. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not some sort of magic sorcerer. Okay. You lost 5 pounds of water weight because you weren't actually in a calorie deficit. So now that you're in a calorie deficit, your body is responding by pushing out some water weight. Now that may come back on. That 5 pounds is actually what's probably going to keep fluctuating and getting you frustrated the entire time we're working together, right? But I have to change that mentality, right? And so that is a process. And so I have, I'll record videos, I'll record voice messages of me talking, and I'll really talk to that person individually, right? And I'll really try and get them to understand. And I'll even have some clients literally write on a post-it note and put it above where they weigh themselves that says, it's just water.
Yeah.
And that actually works for a couple clients of mine. They were like, you got in my head. And every time I looked at that stupid post-it note, I heard it in your voice saying, it's just water. Calm down. It's just water. Take a breather. It'll come back. Right? It's just water. Don't get excited if the scale goes down. It's just water. Don't get excited if it goes up. We're looking at week to week and mostly month to month changes, not day to day. So a lot of people aren't even ready to hop on a scale. And I had to realize that as a coach, is that some people have they attach so much emotion to that scale that they're not even ready to jump on that scale. And so sometimes the first 4 weeks of us working together, I'm like, I don't even want you stepping on the scale. I want you to put that shit in your closet and tell your husband that that is not allowed to come out of the closet. And a lot of times, you know, they're like, thank you so much. And then we work on their relationship with the scale around, like, you know, maybe 2 months into the program. And now we're like, okay, I want you to weigh yourself, you know, once a week. Okay, I want you to weigh yourself every day. Okay, you know, and I'll change it up and kind of see how they do with the more frequent weighing, because as you and I know, we step on the scale every day, most likely, right? So as coaches, we want to know, we're like, am I on the right track, or am I, you know, like, I want to look at those weekly changes and take my average weekly weigh in and compare it with week 4 to week 8. And, you know, I want to compare, I want to make sure that I'm making progress. And I don't get emotional about the scale anymore, right? It's like, after learning from so many great coaches myself, like, I don't get emotional about the scale. Like, the scale is the least important tool that I use, but it is a tool that I use. So I still do use it, but I look more at, I look more at photos, I look more at body measurements, I look mostly waist measurements, right? Because we carry that adipose tissue, and if that adipose tissue is coming down, then we know that, you know, it's most likely body fat is decreasing. So yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I've tried to recently kind of push the whole feel of it as well. Because I 100% everything you said, like the mental struggle that I feel most people have is with the scale, because it goes up and you don't know why, and then it goes down and you get excited, but then you keep doing the same exact stuff and it goes back up. And why does it go back up? Um, and then you get to the point where you're thinking, well, this isn't working. I'm just going to quit and do keto, or do something way more extreme. But
Yeah.
I've been trying to hammer home a lot with just like, how are you feeling? Because if the scale maybe hasn't moved in 2 or 3 weeks, but like, your wife tells you, hey, I could tell that, the work you're putting in is paying off. And if you're going into your training sessions and your numbers are going up, you're lifting, you added 5 pounds on your bench press from last week. You're
Mhm.
doing cardio, and you can tell that from 4 weeks ago, this same cardio session that we're doing it's easier for me to get through it. You wake up in the morning and you feel more energized and ready to take on the day because of the accumulation of good habits that you're starting to string together. Like, that's not going to show up on the scale for you. You're not going to, nobody can give you a number that says that you're feeling better, but like, you should take that more seriously and understand that while it's not maybe tangible, it's 100% progress.